Hello, and welcome, my Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers. Welcome to your 8-card draw. What do I need shadow read for this full moon to new moon in June 2023? I am your reader, fellow Earth sign Virgo that I am, Mark Angelo Lyons, Mal for short. Do you like the new music? On the World Catwalk, thank you, Janet. I am a professional witch. I am a professional intuitive. I am the president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998. We just had our 25th year anniversary. Very excited, a lot of changes. We'll talk about it at the end of the video. I am the author of Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. A Kindle version is available. There's a link in the description box if you would like to check it out. You can even preview a good chunk of it for free and see some of the prayers, principles, and practices that have kept me in business as a mystical artist, a spiritual teacher. I've been reading people since I was 12 years old. I'm going to be 55. Yeah, I know. I don't look at things. And that's the Kindle version, which is sort of the sanitized version, the original Fellini Fest, the Fellini Film Fest, original Words of Grace from a Professional Witch. Well, some of my patrons get that on Patreon, depending on which level of subscription. But all of my subscribers get 3 benefits in common. Number 1, the extended readings, the part 2s to the part 1s, and there are a lot of them, and they're really long, and they're all relationship based, right? True love reads and soulmate contracts and all of that. They also get the daily check-ins. I send them an unlisted YouTube live stream link so they can chat with me every morning about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications, always ending with a prayer, a service, a little something, a meditation to send us on our way. The best way for me to start my day. I mean, I do have coffee first, so let's not be crazy. But it sets me up for all that I have to do, right? These videos, clients, right? Taking care of my cats, my three black cat boys who I love more than anything. So I love Patreon. It's wonderful. We've got 8 levels of subscribers right now. Oh, and the third benefit that they get, the perk, if you will, is a significant discount on private sessions with me in person, recorded, Zoom, whatever. I travel. It's all on my website. We'll talk about it at the end of the video. But I have to say, it is my favorite thing on earth right now. As an artist, as a mystical artist alone, it's so much fun. So click the link, check it out. Oh, and 7-day trial. We now have free 7-day trials. I have it set up for Seeker, our bottom level, or first tier, whatever you want to call it. So do check it out. We're having a field day. So come Patreon on Patreon. Because I'm the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal. Hey, Lavola, having a good hair day. Let's just roll with it, shall we? I love Capricorns. I do. I've never met a Capricorn that I didn't have a wonderful relationship with. What are you going to do? Sun, Moon, Rising, who knows? We have Capricorn and Uranus. I believe they have an ointment for that now. So if you are new to the channel, let's do a little explanation. I love starting off shadow reads with a nice, lovely sense of humor and then see where it goes. Let me do some explanation for the new Capricorns and the cross-watchers, and we'll get to the divination, which is what we're all here for, including me. An 8-card draw is just 1 card from 8 different decks, getting you clues, tips, and hints about anything. In this case, the shadow work, the letting go, the releasing that comes with a waning half of a moon phase, or a whole, moon cycle, half of it, half waxing, half waning, to help you release, let go, alchemize, the lead to gold, the shadow to light, the fear to love, the pain to peace, the enslavement to liberation, right? Symbolically speaking, in the language of spiritual alchemy, there are chakras involved in this 8-card spread. We'll get there. They're very, very powerful, it seems. And I write down all of my Sun, Moon, Rising, and my Venus, as well as for the 5-card draws, which are the beautiful, newtiful, plant a seed at new, help it grow to full. Look, when the moon rides at her peak, then ye heart's desire seek, right? So save the shadow work for 3 days at least after the full moon itself, right? Go for it. Do your thing. And we're going to look at the astrology in a minute. But then when you hear the astrology of this 2-week period we're headed into, you can wait until the last 3 days, the dark moon before new. I wouldn't. Not this time around, at least. So to be forewarned is to be forearmed. And this way you don't have to deal with it all at once over a 3-day period, dark moon, but you're actually able to do it in a more slow and steady wins the race, which, let's face it, is Capricorn's bailiwick. So yeah, let's look real quick. The full moon in Sagittarius, Saturday, June 3rd, 11:42 p.m. That's right in the witching hour for me. 11:30 p.m., 12:30 a.m., a foot in each day. That's how I roll. So I will probably be in circle, lighting some kind of candle, some element of fire for Sagittarius, June 3rd, 1:42 p.m. Eastern Time. I am in New York. 2 weeks later, tricky new moon in Gemini on Sunday, June 18th, 12:37 a.m., which then promptly goes void, of course, at 2:24 a.m. So I will be doing some Gemini air magic for sure, but then goes into Cancer at 6:58 a.m. So I might wake up and then do a little Cancerian new moon magic. 2 seeds, 1 air, 1 water. I could deal with it, I think, in between those 2 dates. And you'll see what I mean about these last 3 days. For starters, Venus goes into Leo June 5th. Fixed fire to cardinal Earth. But if you have any planets in Leo or are cross-watching as a Leo, that could be key. This is the one that's tricky for the Caps. Pluto is moving into Capricorn on June 11th. Now check your chart, right? Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, it doesn't matter. Pluto is such a slow moving planet that it's generational. It's going to hit all of us, but I would think Pluto in Capricorn, for Capricorns, that could be incredibly powerful, transformative, but at least it's moving forward as far. I don't think it's retrograde, but it could be. I only write down what's going direct and retrograde for the 2 weeks that I'm working with at the time. And this is the big one, if you want to call it that, Saturn retrograde in Aquarius on the 17th, one of the 3 days of dark moon before we hit the new moon, right? So the 17th, Saturn goes retrograde in dark moon, and then the next day, the 18th, is the new moon. So it could be a lot. I mean, Saturn is your ruling planet, so that's what I'm saying. Like Pluto in Capricorn, Saturn retro in Aquarius, it's still Saturn. So just so that you know, right? Because one thing I love about Capricorns is that they grow younger as they get older, right? They get a more childlike wisdom. They've lived through so much, right? So they know to slow and steady wins the race, but then when they're really, really feeling their innocence, their creativity, they're lovely. I love Caps, what can I tell you? So, look, this is a general read. Take what resonates, leave what doesn't. Do check your other signs. And cross-watchers, here's your opportunity to get some insight, understanding, sympathy, and empathy for the cross-watcher, for the Capricorn you're cross-watching for. And if you, for instance, take into consideration the oracle for Lord Ganesh, or the archangels, or the spirit animals and totems, the healing mantra, or maybe it's the blessing at the end, the hidden blessing, you apply some of that, you'll be helping not just the Capricorn you're cross-watching for, but the entire collective. That's holographic unity. That's how this stuff works in the quantum, timey-wimey, wibbly-wobbly. I will leave it to the Capricorns to do the math. I don't do math, I do words. I'm very good at them. Very oral. So both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. And I will keep my sense of humor as best as I can for what can be often rather intense readings, and get you the clarity, guidance, and grace to help you alchemize your shadow to light, your lead to gold, your pain to beast to manifest. Let's call it what it is. 10th house Capricorn, highest potential, the top of the mountain, you goats. Shall we? The shift from explanation to divination happens in the still point, and I seem to be very apt at finding it. Shall we? Please take a nice deep breath. There we go. Still point. Pantheonic override. For card number 1, the Caroline Mace archetype cards. I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers who are watching this video and who were drawn to this reading. Please, beloved ones, what is the dominant archetype hovering over the heads of the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers, determining the soul power being alchemized from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, affecting all the chakras beneath them, shifting what they attract and what they repel, so they have the option to no longer delay what cannot be prevented. this, oh, you know this is in the title, this full to new, the vampire archetype. Okay, I have a video on YouTube called Vampires and Witches. I have dealt with a lot of vampires in my profession, let alone my romantic life. Oh my goodness gracious. There is a purpose as to why vampires are so prevalent in our fiction, right? But that's the funny thing. Everybody knows how to deal with them. You just got to see it differently, and that's what that video is about. It's free on YouTube. Woo. I will try and remember to put it in the comments below. What Caroline does for us here is she takes an archetype and she gives it a shadow attribute and a light attribute. I call this lead, this gold, 3 atoms in between the two of them. Look, I did math. See, there's hope. In between these 3 on the periodic table. So since atoms cannot be created or destroyed, only changed, I prefer the word alchemized, released, transformed, transmuted. So let's talk about the vampire, a wild card family archetype, meaning these are not always the romantic, seductive vampires. There could be a family member, could be, look, we all drain people, but having the archetype, you can have an archetype, a reason, a season, or a lifetime. The vampire tends to come to me because I'm a vampire hunter or a vampire healer, depending on whether I want them in my life or not. Yeah. So let's do this. The shadow attribute, the lead, depleting others for your physical survival. Sorry, for your psychic survival, your energetic survival. So depleting others for your psychic survival, chronic complaining and codependency. Now, chronic means constant, right? So even if it doesn't appear constant, the pattern's always there. It's parasitic, right? So yeah, we've all drained people. We've all had wounds of codependent, and if you haven't, wow, how did you avoid that? What kind of contract you got? But remember, it's when you hear the light, you will get the vampire hunter, slayer, healer aspect. Makes you aware that someone or something is draining your life force. In other words, it doesn't have to be a person who's draining you, right? It can be a job, right? It can be anything. But to become aware of it, that is the vampire hunter's instinct. Something's draining me, right? And you can play the victim, but that's exactly what draws more vampires to you. It's a very rich archetype, and that's why we all know how to deal with it. Watch the video. It's too much to go into here, but it's a good video. I can't wait to teach that again. I would love to teach that live. Ooh, answer questions and shit. All right, here we go. That's the contract. Okay. Well, let's look at the next 4 chakras down with one Daughters of the Moon Tarot. Daughters of the Moon Tarot, a feminist goddess deck because it's goddess energy, internally internal. Heart, throat, third eye, crown dynamic. If it's a major arcana card, it's all 4 at once. The same would apply for the Mythic Tarot, and we do the lower 3 chakras. Let's see what the goddesses have to say. This should be a hot one. Please take a nice deep breath. Let's see if we got some Teflon neck syndrome going here. Still point. Goddess override. As I call upon my goddesses of earth, the sign of Capricorn, powers of the north, please, beloved goddesses of cardinal, creative earth, the mountain. So much grows in, around, and through a mountain. Truly, truly creative. So, my beloved goddesses, one card in clarity for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers. What they need to be aware of internally internal to alchemize the vampire this full to new. The Scorpio card, Hecate. Ooh, goddess of witches. Technically a Titan, but you know, mileage may vary on who you've read. The Scorpio card, 8th house dynamic. If you have any planets in Scorpio, take that into consideration, particularly any astrology that may be going on around that. At least it'll hit a Scorpio moon at some point in the 2-week period. You know, if you don't have any planets in Scorpio, it's really about 8th house dynamic. Money, sex, power, other people's resources, ruled by Pluto, the planet of death and transformation, but fixed water. If we're going to give it a chakra specifically, I would probably say heart, right? Because that element of water, but that fixed, right? That's not a bad thing to have that strong, consistent internal feeling, right? Could also be heart chakra intuition. You can tell when your heart's open, when it's closed, and when it's somewhere in between. Now, what I like about this is because you've got vampires and witches right here. I mean, the goddess of, right? The crone at the crossroads, the transformer. Oh, she's way more than meets the eye. Sorry, goddamn allowed. I get away with a lot because they actually think I'm fun. Isn't that cool? So let's see. And yeah, this is inside you. So just because it's a court card doesn't mean that it's somebody outside of you, right? This is within your own energy field. But come on, Scorpio and vampire. I think I see a pattern. Let's look at the outside. You from the outside looking in at yourself, or you from the inside looking out at people, places, and things, relationships in the physical world, the masculine dynamic, the mythic tarot. Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, still point. God archetype. God override. Still point. So I call upon my gods of earth, the sign of Capricorn, and powers of the north. Please, beloved gods of the mountain, there are an awful lot of you. My gods of cardinal creative earth. One card in clarity for the Capricorn collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, signs, and cross watchers who are watching this video, drawn to this reading. What do they need to be aware of? Masculine energy, inside out, outside in, relationships in the physical world to alchemize the vampire. This full to new. The Chariot. The Chariot, interesting. Now, the Chariot, this is Aries, god of war, which is odd, very much a fire sign for what is traditionally thought of as a Cancerian, a water card, the light horse and the dark horse, inspiration and motivation, what you really want to do and what you really have to do, right? The carrot and the stick, to bring those forces together to move you forward instead of tearing you apart. This often speaks of rapid action and forward motion. I can agree with that, particularly if there is a vampire, right? You may want to act fast on this. Pay attention to your lower three chakra intuition big time. Your root chakra will tell you if some place or some thing, like a building, is draining your energy. Hey, weird shit has happened in my career, right? Second chakra, if someone's draining you that way, that's usually the way they do it, and that's why vampires will come off all sexy just to drain you. It's how they work, right? Once you let them in, they don't come back in through the kitchen door. They come in through the bedroom window. That's a Carolyn Mason. That's a genius. And solar plexus will tell you if your boundaries, your honor code is being compromised. Whether you're compromising it or someone's trying to control you, you'll know it in your solar plexus. It'll feel like Aries. Or what do you think you're doing, right? No, I think the word is out. Vampires should stay the fuck away from me because I will slay you symbolically. You know, within the laws of man, I still must abide. No, I don't do codependency. I don't. I healed those wounds. I don't know that it's all done. It's still in the collective, right? But there's a difference between vampire slayer and vampire healer, right? But they have to be willing to heal because throat chakra, where they bite you, is willpower, choices, and decisions. So, are you at a crossroads? Has Hecate met you at the crossroads for some transformation? It's pretty damn powerful. Okay. Those three atoms in between lead and gold, you could think of them as obstacles, which is why working with the Whispers of Lord Ganesha by Angelo Hartfield is such a delight. I have had a relationship with Lord Ganesh for over 25 years now. When I used to work as a community relations coordinator, CRC, at Borders Books and Music, Bohemia, Long Island, New York, I came across the Ashaya monks. Their teacher, who had crossed over, wrote a book called First Thunder, Maharishi Sadashiva Ashaya, MSI, and I met them. And that was at the same time that I started drawing the circle, or just about, right? It was the crossover, my Saturn return. And they came to my house and taught a First Sphere workshop. It was one of the first events we ever did at Drawing the Circle. So I've been working with Lord Ganesh because it's like Sanskrit, Hindu, and I love Sanskrit. And I must have past lives there, particularly with Ganesh. And he's delightful. Oh, and we almost left a card on the rose quartz. Sneaky. Ready? Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Because I don't think we can get more Capricorn than an elephant, right? As I call to my beloved Lord Ganesh. Ganesh, override. Please, one card in clarity for our beloved Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their cross-watchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading. Help them remove the obstacles, great God of prosperity, success, and remover of obstacles to help them alchemize the vampire archetype reason, season, or lifetime, themselves or somebody else, this full to new. Courage. Courage. Ganesh riding the white lion. Surprise lines on the bottom. Card number 50. Courage, courage, mon amour. Courage, hang in there. You can do it. But following the heart ain't the easiest thing in the world, particularly if someone's trying to drain you. But yeah. Oh, this is the last card of the Oracle. I forgot that. So breathe this one in. There might be a heart at stake. Courage, the warmth of your open heart can give comfort to all who cross your path. Well, that is what I call popping the tick. It's another strategy, right? Hit them with the unconditional divine love of the heart chakra from a distance at first, right? The root word for courage is cœur, which is the French word for heart. Courage comes from the heart, as does groove, apparently. It is an inner strength guided by love, which seeks truth and justice. Well, truth is light. What does sunlight do to vampires? Just saying. When you have the courage to be true to yourself, you start to feel empowered to act and live in ways true to your own soul without any illusion. No glamours, except the ones you want to put on. But no one's gonna true blood glamour you. Or are they? Ganesha is urging you to let down your guard and stop wearing a mask. Begin to have more respect for yourself as well as others. Beware of making harsh judgments about yourself and others. When you come from the heart, you will find that you relate better to others. Your innate gifts will be able to shine through. You are capable of leadership, achievement, and inspiring others to succeed through your own success. When you draw this card, it is a sign that your ability to cooperate and thrive in peer ventures with like-minded individuals is heightened. But did somebody let a Nosferatu in the room? Be willing to do what is needed for things to run smoothly for you. Ganesha promises great success if you're willing to let down your walls. He is pictured here on the powerful lion inherited by his mother Parvati. The lion represents the fierce nature of Ganesha. So this isn't about being a simp. This is about being fierce, Sasha. He calls on, I'm sure someone's name is Sasha and they just squealed. She calls on you now to trust the fearless part of your being, your own inner lion, and invites you to work with him to learn how to be valiant and harness your heart's great courage. Woof and meow all at once. I love it. Look, because it does take courage to face a vampire. Vampires die screaming. And, you know, if they end up being a pile of ash, don't worry, someone will come along, one drop of blood, they're back. Absolutely the best book I ever read on vampirism is Carpe Jugulum by Terry Pratchett. I'm not kidding. It's the best discourse on the subject for vampire hunting and slaying. Oh, and Granny Weatheraxe is just everything. Okay. The turtle moves, and so can you, and maybe this chariot is get me out of here. Could be. Particularly riding a lion and a dark and a light horse at the same time. That's a lot of power going on there, I'm gonna say. So let's move on. I don't think this is a dire, horrible thing. I do think that there's a lesson here, and there is some letting go, and there is some boundary setting that might be needed for you to be authentic and true to who you are. You know, I've called vampires out on the carpet. I've been, are you trying to drain me? Being intimidating? Nah, I'm a total goofball. That's why I get away with so much. You know, the gods like it. So do the archangels. Speaking of which, the Archangel Fire Oracle by Alexandra Wenman, Findhorn Press from Findhorn, Scotland. Everyone has access to archangels. Your higher self is essentially a guardian angel, symbolically speaking, that belongs to a larger collective called an archangel, and then up you go. The virtues, the thrones, the powers, the dominions, all the way back to source, right? It's all one, but it's more like mitosis coming this way, right? And tricky. Yeah, I know what mitosis is. Mitosis, your tosis, her tosis, she's tosis. So, the thing about archangels is they don't come unless you call, though they know everything, right? So who are you going to call? Thank you. I heard you say it. So let's ask them who's contracted to help, if you so choose. Breathe. Yeah, this is the last read of the day. Still point. Archangelic override. As I call upon the pantheon of archangels for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers watching this video, receiving this reading, I know it's probably more the case that the Capricorn is dealing with a vampire, and this is about them being a vampire healer probably more than a slayer. But with the courage, that could go both ways. Ooh, light horse, dark horse, yeah. Ooh, Hecate on the inner, that does make sense. Transformation for sure. So please, beloved archangel who's waiting in the wings with the wings, ready to zoom in and help them alchemize this vampire archetype, this full to new. These two love being on camera. The twin Irin, I-R-I-N, a bunch. You come up many times. This is truth. Truth. Truth is light. How do vampires do in direct light? See, that's the thing, right? You know, decapitation, throat chakra, they always go for the throat chakra. Gaslighting, right? Just all of that's been going on, and anything that's hidden can be revealed with the twin Irin, or as I like to call them, the Irin twins. Card number, what was that? Card number 35. Just gonna read the first part, because now I've read it like 18 times, it feels like, considering we're only on reading number 10. But pretty amazing considering things being called out into the light. Why do I keep skipping over you? 34 pages are a little dry. The twin Irin. Keyword, truth. The mighty Irin are a pair of great twin angels who are said to reside in the sixth heaven, together with another set of twin angels known as the Qaddasin, Q-A-D-D-I-S-I-N. The Irin constitute the highest council of judgment in the heavenly courts. They are among 8 ultra-powerful angels which have a rank that is superior to even that of mighty Metatron. If you're unfamiliar, good omens. Start there. The turtle, well, doesn't necessarily move in that one. According to the Bible, the Irin are known as the Watchers, and as Watchers, they are able to see the whole truth of every situation. In their oracle, they are shown as male and female philosophers or politicians from ancient Greece. They are wearing blindfolds as a nod to Lady Justice, who is Themis, as in Themyscira, because we have to give props to Wonder Woman whenever possible. Where do we go? Lost her. Lady Justice and the notion of blind justice. The Irin see absolutely everything, so when they are around, we are rarely even able to hide from ourselves, which means we've played roles. We have vampire, but we gotta say, yeah, we've all done this. It's passed down from generation to generation, just like a vampire virus, right? They open our eyes to that which we may have been previously blind and show us where we have been blindsided so they can help us achieve the gift of true discernment. In terms of courage, that's key, right? What's your solar plexus telling you? Just saying. Message. Ask us to bring you clarity when the truth evades you. We can help you to discern the right choice when making an important decision, or when you are unsure of the highest course of action to take. With our help, anything remaining hidden will soon come swiftly into the light. Scorpio got this one. Yup. Scorpio got this one because I remember saying, Scorpio, yes, it'll be brought into light, but there may be things brought into light that you don't want to be brought into light, and maybe that's the case here. But look, it is just very much, it's throwing them out in sunlight. It's twitching open the curtains, and they burn up. Whoopsie. That's why I don't like vertical blinds. They're not quite the same. It has a twitchy little curtain rod jam. Okay, so this is definitely vampire hunty. Hunty. Let's just leave that there. Who draining you? Look, everybody's done it. It's forgivable. It's just, will they, you know, stake themselves? It's a stake out. The best thing about wooden stakes is really after you deal with the vampires, you still have some left over that can be used for others. Let's do this. Let's ground it with the Divine Animals Oracle by Stacy DeMarco. Everyone has access to their totems and spirit animals. Let's see who's here to help. Please take a nice deep breath. This is my favorite pantheon. Still point. Totemic override, please. As I call to the spirit animals and totems for the Capricorn Collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, signs of cross watchers watching this video, drawn to this reading. Card number 6. Who walks with them? Who swims with them? Who flies with them? Who crawls with them? Giving them the help, the assistance, the love, the wisdom, the power, the support, the protection, and the oracle message to help them alchemize the vampire. This full to new. The dog. Companionship. Oh, woo. Oh, Angua. Well, that's a wolf. Companionship. Now, here we have an archer, interestingly enough, on a cliff with the woo-woo. That right there with the ones raised by a nursery school teacher. Of course, dogs are called woo-woos because they go woo-woo. We all have our patterning we're dealing with. What is that? Card number 11. Yeah. Let's put the white font on a light background. That's helpful. 41. Oh, good. It's a good thing I checked. You'd think I'd know where all the numbers are, but again, math not my strong suit. Although I do have good hair today. You take your blessings where you find them. Don't you find card number 41, the dog. Companionship. Be a firm and ethical friend. Oh, are you dealing with somebody who's draining you, who's a close one? Aww. Be a firm and ethical friend. Seek loyalty and honesty in your friendships. Our friendships should be supportive, not competitive. There is a difference between solitude and loneliness. Something hidden will be illuminated. I think we're in vampire territory with this one. We all have aspects of ourselves that we do not appreciate or like. Learn to change these things if they do not benefit us, or lovingly accept them. Dogs. I mean, I'm a cat person, but I grew up with dogs. We had Newfoundland hounds, alright? How could I not love dogs? I see my parents every 3 months, not just to see them, but to see the doodles, right? And they've got Labradoodles. Dogs are whacked, but they're fun, right? That is a different kind of love. Matt Kahn says, like, dogs are all yang, cats are all yin, and, you know, I'm more yin than yang. Works for me, right? So companionship, this absolutely involves another person, at least one other person, but I could also see this being in a work situation, right? Where this companionship might be a work companion, particularly if you're in a boss situation. And so if you just got a straight up Colin Robinson in the office, right? Could be. Oh, I can't wait for the next series of What We Do in the Shadows. And by the way, my mom and I text each other back and forth through the whole thing, because it's amazing. All right. Woo. Woo. Oh, woo. Shall we? Woof. Let's get you the Matt Kahn healing mantra. Used to be the 4th card down. This time around, they're like, make it the 2nd to last, and it makes so much more sense. I don't know why I didn't see it before. I just didn't. So the healing mantra from the Ascended Masters. This deck is blessed, consecrated to help you do a little something, something every day. A little mantra. Help you on your way. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Ascended Masters override. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of the General Assembly, please My beloved ones, the perfect healing mantra for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers watching this video drawn to this reading, and I accept that they might be draining people too. Like, vampires can't see their own reflections, and we've all done it, and it's all forgivable, and it's all healable if we are willing to no longer delay what cannot be prevented, throat chakra, right? Where we bite and get bitten. So please, the perfect healing mantra for the Capricorn collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers to help them alchemize the vampire this full to new. Untangling neglect. I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. This feels like a vampire recovery mantra. Particularly if someone has been withholding approval. Yes, self-approval is maxim, right? Of course. Because if we don't do that, I'm going to read it from the Boogie Book. If you don't take time to do that for yourself, you'll drain. What people will do for approval, right? Complete inauthenticity, pretending to be something that they're not. And that is the vampire strategy, whether they're coming at you or you're one of them. We've all done it, right? Reason, season, or lifetime. There are people who have Chronos vampire, right? Vonos from birth to death. But usually they become vampire hunters, vampires healers, vampire slayers. So, untangling neglect. And I have a little mudra, if you want to call it that I do when I get this one. Untangling neglect. Where'd you go? Unraveling, you're unraveling, you're unhooking, you're untangling. Just do this. And right on your heart, right? From the third eye, you do you. Untangling neglect, I take the time to give myself all the approval I desire. When neglect is untangled, you are no longer turning to outside sources for constant reassurance and validation. Instead, you are going within the depths of your own heart to notice the parts of yourself that require the presence of your attention. Pulling out. Going in, absolutely, Hecate. There is a transformation in play here. I lost my spot again, damn it. In nurturing yourself this way, you step forward as the first responder to each wound, concern, and desire. From this space, there becomes less of a likelihood of attracting relationships where further neglect occurs. It's the other way. So many ways that vampires can glamour, right? They can glamour us through abuse, neglect, codependence, right? The fear of loss. Those are the 4 ego wounds. That's all they got. Read Celestine Prophecy by James Redfield. Yeah. Simply because you have accepted your role as the one who nurtures the innocence within you, and that's what they go for. They go for the innocence, that innocent heart that is going through a transformation here with Hecate and Scorpio. I could see this person guarding their heart very easily, though. This mantra is ideal for building self-confidence, surviving codependency. Literally spelt exactly the same, not codependence and codependency, and healing neediness, which is a vampire thing. And look, all of us have done it. I really want to stress that. It's really important. But chronic, right? That's someone who does not, that's the narcissist. Now, there are many different forms of narcissist. Overt narcissist is not the only one. There's passive, right? There's covert. There's just a whole fucking demonic pantheon of them. So look, we've all had them inherited down through thousands of years of ancestral patterns, not to mention with society alone, right? You get bitten by a boss, by a coworker, by a friend, right? It's like that. So untangling neglect could absolutely untangle and maybe bring back a healthier companionship, if not with the one vampired or being vampired, vampiring or being vampired, but to bring more collaboration, more people into your life based in truth, and it's going to take courage. Yeah. Last card down, the gold hidden within the lead, the blessed be, Lucy Cavendish. Amazing deck. The prayers are awesome, and that's why it's the last card down. As goofy or as fun and light as I try to make a shadow read, this is where the blessing actually becomes a mystical thing. When you bless anyone, oh, and that's a good vampire tactic, right? To just, I'm going to bless you, I'm going to light a candle for you every day and bless you with light. Watch what happens, right? But these are for realsies. Every time we bless, it goes through us out into the world. So maybe bless them from a distance. But the gold hidden within the lead, the hidden blessing, our last card down. Let's do this. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. And we end as we began. Pantheonic override. As I call upon the pantheons of all pantheons, a delegation, please, from all traditions, lineages, and cultures, for the Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers who are watching this video. Perhaps you directed them to this reading. Beloved pantheons of all pantheons, what is the hidden blessing? The gold hidden within the lead, the light at the end of the tunnel to align and help and bless and inspire the Capricorn Collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and their cross-watchers watching this video, receiving this reading, to alchemize the vampire in the eighth, the Kate on the inner, Aries, the chariot on the outer, removing obstacles with courage, calling in the truth of the Aaron twins, the companionship of the dog totem, and untangling neglect, taking the time to give themselves all the approval they desire. The hidden blessing as a result. This full to new, a blessing on a resolution. A blessing on a resolution. Now, by the way, I want to say she's guarding her heart with a dagger, okay? And she is armored, so I think there's something to be said there. In other words, resolutions come as a result of problems. Houston, I think you might have a problem. But, you know, what are problems? They are situations in the journey of humanity that immortal souls like us come down and play the role and forget everything we know so that we can relearn it. Great fun. It is, actually. And you gotta admit, vampires do spice shit up a bit, unless they don't. So I'm gonna read you the blessing. I'm not putting it off. It's just a very, very powerful one. This is often about talking it out, but let's see how this goes. Yeah. All right. At the end of this, the last word is blessed be that I read. And then I will do a quick blessimation, a summation of the cards. And then we're going to talk about drawing the circle productions and some of the cool stuff we're doing, because you might be interested. You don't know yet. Please take a nice deep breath. Sorry. Kitty cat hairball. Working from home. Please take a nice deep breath. Shedding season. Still point. Pantheons transmit. A blessing on a resolution. A blessing to bring a respectful resolution to a troubling condition, situation, or set of circumstances. It is a sad truth of the nature of humans that instead of cooperating, we sometimes compete. That sounds familiar. Believing that unless we can have as much as possible, we may walk away from a dispute or negotiation with then less than what we feel we deserve. In this circumstance, sometimes the unfortunate aspects of humanity are most highlighted. Our greed, our inability to come together and truthfully speak of our needs, and there can be manipulation. Within these circumstances, let us bring a blessing and ask for a higher power's will to take this circumstance and change it for the better. Throw it out into the light of the sun. May there be a blessing on all concerned within this troubling time, this conundrum that has kept you awake and has had you fearful. May all those involved see the beauty in a swift and easy solution which presents itself simply and in perfect timing. May the quarrels and the disputes become history and be learned from, so that errors of judgment are never repeated. May all involved become their best self, devoted to finding a way through the puzzle pieces of peaceful resolution of a grievance. May any ill feeling be softly replaced with quiet optimism and a willingness to be open, honest, and understanding of all parties' true needs for blood. May there be no more trickery, no more hiding, no more falsehoods, no more rancor, and no more fear. Let all those involved come to a respectful meeting and truly find a fruitful way to restore dignity to all, even the vampire. May your particular needs be more than met. May your expectations be unclouded, and may greed fall away from any who have sought to take advantage of these troubles. May none profit from the separations that have taken place, but may what is decided be fair and just, and recognize all that you have contributed for so long. May there be a blessing on every conversation, on every meeting, and finally, when you walk away from the table and all is divided and terms are agreed upon, may all brooding, subterranean, Akate underground resentments be rooted out and purified, never to rise again. Let you be satisfied and make the most of this resolution and go forward freed from any burden and uplifted and supported by what you have rightfully and honorably gained. Work. Blessed be for the well-being of all and with harm to none, as we will it. So let it be done. So mote it be. So it is. I brought out a little bit of the Underworld Catwalk before it started playing, didn't I? Ooh, do not come from my neck. I have Teflon neck syndrome. Developed it over time. It's lovely. So, Vampire in the 8th. You're going to do that by doing the transformation within, for sure, emotional, and it feels like third chakra, your choice, to move this forward. Remember, you're moving toward a resolution, and it is going to take courage, and it is going to take truth, and it is going to take companions along the way. But if the one vampired or doing the vampiring is a companion, it's got to be dealt with. But there's an untangling of neglect that you can do for you that no one else can do. Taking the time to give yourself all the approval you desire. Hey, I'm doing all right. I'm doing the fucking best I can, right? Because there is a hidden blessing of a resolution in play, and that sounds like a soul contract to me. Whether it's one person or a lot of people, a group situation, doesn't matter. You can do this. It's not that hard. It just takes a lot of courage to do. And the truth is, we already know how to deal with vampires. It's in our memories. It's in our stories. So do what you gotta do and reach out and need help. So if this helped, hit the thumbs up, like it. It's gonna help other Capricorns find it, as well, for some reason, hitting the notification bell, commenting, and of course, if you want to subscribe to me here, go ahead. I'm not stopping, because that's why I have Patreon. Patreon's magnificent. I love it over there, and I love that they keep giving us more cool stuff, like the 7-day free trial, right? But all of my subscribers, as long as they're subscribers, get the daily check-ins, get the extended readings, and get a significant discount on booking private sessions with me, spiritual counseling and readings. So let's talk about that. But remember, 7-day trial is a secret. You can cancel it before the time's up. But if you want to check the link, I think you'll like it. Come Patreon on Patreon. Because I am the Archangel of Lyons, Angelo Lyons. But you can call me Mal, and I do not brook vampires, not for very long, though. Let's just say that. And yes, the 25 years in business, I changed my prices for the first time in 25 years. There is a video that I did called Booking Private Sessions with Mal for spiritual counseling and readings in person, whether I travel, doing it online, Zoom recording, all of it's explained in the video. It's also all on my website in the store if you want to check that out. It's written, might be a little easier to bullet point that. But also my subscribers, like I said, get a significant discount as long as they remain subscribers and not just free trialers. That's not fair, right? That's not fair. You become a subscriber for $3 a month as a seeker, and you get the same discount as the top tier, God Goddess, however you want to see that, top tier, bottom tier, the top. Look, a very, very powerful, beautiful read. So, of course, check out the video, Witches and Vampires. You can, put it in the YouTube search if you like. Witches and Vampires, anything. Vampires and Witches. I did it alphabetically so I would remember. Great job, Mark. But it will help. And certainly I've helped a lot of people heal as well as vanquish vampires. So reach out if you need. Booking private sessions with Mal. I'm glad to help. But really, Capricorns, I love this reading for you. I mean, it's sort of like a vampire kit, right? How to deal with a vampire kit. Just keep in mind, there's pain there. And, yeah, we've all been bitten and we've all bit. If not this lifetime, last lifetime, who knows when. So why delay what cannot be prevented? You are worthy of being in the sun, my beloved. Wishing you all the very best and the very, very blessed. Heal, hail, farewell, and blessed, blessed be.